is up, my friends, and welcome to the UFL Week In Review, one of the longest-running UFL podcasts in human history. I'm your host, Mark Perry, bringing you show number 51 as we dive into the UFL playoffs. This week, we're breaking down the final regular season TV ratings that has everyone talking. Playoff schedules are set for the conference championship games, June 8th. Plus, we have our special event. The All-UFL Team has been announced, plus co-owner Gerry Cardinale opens up about the league's future. We've got playoff predictions, fan emails, and your DFS picks. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Let's get into it. All right, our main man, Mike Mitchell, has the final regular season TV ratings. But before we get into that, the attendance for the DC Defenders game, 12,624, on a very, very rainy day. Make sure you check out our vlog about that whole experience. It's pretty cool. Michigan Panthers coming correct with the Jake Bates bobblehead day, 16,014. Michigan, we're friends. Michigan, we're friends. San Antonio, 10,863 for a team that was out of it. San Antonio, to me, is fine as well. And Memphis, 4,573. I hope we don't see you again next year, but we'll have to see about that. Average for the week, 11,018 is your numbers, and that's your Week 10 final attendance. Now we just have to talk about playoffs and championship games. On to the season-ending 10-week season. After 10 weeks and 40 games, 651,000 viewers per game across Fox, ABC, ESPN, and FS1, representing a 19% decrease. Remember, they had more games on national television, but I think that's a decrease from just in general television is down a little, somewhat, a lot. I mean, I don't have cable this year. Let's just put it that way. But I believe the streaming numbers are part of that too. I'm not for certain. A decrease of 19%, including the postseason at 816,000. Internally, the hope is that the UFL playoffs, including 2 conference championship clashes this Sunday on ABC and Fox, plus the UFL championship game on Saturday, June 15th, will help send the merged league's end the league's season on a high note. Week 10 had a tough act to follow in viewership, sandwiched between the league's highest weekly average viewership, 951,000, and this coming Sunday's highly pivotal conference championship games. So Week 10 ratings past Friday night on Fox with a very rainy game. St. Louis Battlehawks, DC Defenders averaged 670,000 viewers. It was the league's highest rated Friday night game on Fox since Week 4. The 5:30 telecast peaked at 814,000 viewers during the game's opening 15 minutes, which came shortly before a lengthy weather delay. St. Louis and D.C. will square off again. Of course, we know everything on the line this weekend, Sunday at 6 p.m., for a chance at the title game. For the season, Fox weekly UFL games on Fridays averaged 613,000 viewers. Saturday afternoons, 5:31 game featuring the Michigan Panthers and Houston Roughnecks averaged 324,000 viewers. The game only aired as scheduled on ESPN for 98 minutes. The telecast was bumped from ESPN to ESPN News at its original start time at 3 due to the continuation of the NCAA baseball. ESPN News is a network not charted by Nielsen Media Research. Sunday's noon game on ABC featuring the Arlington Renegades and San Antonio Brahmas averaged 741,000 viewers. The game peaked at 837,000 viewers in its final 14 minutes. In terms of full-year viewership, ABC ended the regular season with 8 of the top 10 most viewed UFL games. ABC will air the UFL Conference Championship game this Sunday at 3 p.m., followed by the championship game, which is good. ABC has been the best channel by far. This past Sunday's UFL regular season finale on Fox, which saw the Birmingham Stallions decimate the formerly in this league Memphis Showboats, 46-9, was watched by an average of 625,000 viewers. The blowout contest reached its peak quarter hour viewership from 5 to 5:15 with 703,000 viewers. Stallions are aiming to become the first outdoor professional football team to win 4 consecutive league championships since the CFL's Edmonton franchise achieved this feat in the late 1970s and early 80s en route to winning 5 straight Grey Cups. I haven't won in a long time. Birmingham gets their chance to get back at a 4th straight title, of course, this Sunday against Michigan on ABC. There you have it. Those are the games this week. What is your thoughts about the season? You know what I mean? Like, it's just really just people kind of tuning in and seeing what's going on with the league and kind of maybe even getting it for the first time. I mean, these were meaningless games and still getting 600,000 views because people are just kind of getting into it. Are we starting to see some momentum? Let us know what you think in the comments. I scooped this little nugget. Co-owner Gerry Cardinale opens up about the UFL's TV ratings and venue situation. So this was interesting. On a rare appearance, gives some insight on the CNBC Sports podcast, which I did not appreciate the guy who was interviewing him. I thought he was kind of a tool. I'll just be honest with you. I don't mean to be mean, but he was kind of like, you had Gerry Cardinale there and you were kind of like being a douche to him. So, yeah. Cardinale explained how the UFL differentiates itself from failed spring football leagues of the past by working with the NFL ecosystem, something that they talk about all the time, to be worthy participant in the NFL's ecosystem, which obviously one aspect of that is to be a developmental league. This is when I said I didn't like the tone of the question by Alex Sherman. He clearly never watched UFL before and was questioning the quality of the games. And if you listen to yourself, it's like, yeah, have you watched the quality of the games? They're fine. There's no one is complaining anything about the quality of the games. What they do complain about is the attendance and lack of marketing. Those are the two things. But Alex knew nothing about this, and he was just trying to be cool, and you were not. When challenged about the UFL truly matches NFL standards, Cardinale defended the league's talent level by explaining the mathematics of roster limitations. This guy couldn't get it. Every year, you can only have 53 spots on an NFL team. He was basically like, no, you don't have the best players. Your players aren't good enough to make the league. And he was just trying to explain to him. He was like, the talent exceeds the available NFL roster spots. Again, going back to Sherman's line of question, it was about scarcity. And again, he just wasted most of the interview going over this stuff. It irritated me. On the league's performance and rating, despite public perception of struggles, Cardinale shared specific ratings data that positions the UFL favorably against professional sports leagues, including the NFL and MLS. This is what hockey, NHL, I really should say. The ratings are not down, he said. This is him. This is the guy with billions of dollars. The ratings are not down. We actually have, if you look at the distribution that we have with ESPN and Fox, we outperform MLS 4-1. And from a rating standpoint, we outperform hockey 2-1. This is my thing with this league. As long as Jerry's in, I'm in. That's the guy. That's the key guy because he's a business guy. And if he's like, this ain't going to make it, he's out. And Fox will run this thing into the ground, I think. But if Jerry's out and Redbird is out, that's what makes me worried. I'm just kind of pointing out. So to me, hearing that Jerry's kind of like, hey, we're outperforming these other things. And then you think about it, there is no, they're not paying for rights or TV rights or any of that stuff. Remember, ESPN is on the board of directors of the UFL. So it's not like they're paying the league. They're just paying for the spots. But they're basically getting a league for free. There's been no talk whatsoever of somehow you think ESPN is giving Fox some money to cover this league, to have this league on their television station. That I've not heard that ever, and I've heard lots of things. But this is what I wanted to hear from fans on development, league potential, and player movement. Of course, here one of the KPIs for the NFL is that every year our best players go to the NFL. There's no shock absorber between college and the pros in football, number one. Number two, people would like to have NFL quality football all year round if they could. The quote reveals, of course, the dual purpose of a developmental system and an entertainment product. He talks about this, but the guy was kind of being, again, douchey with his questions. And, come on, dude. Like, really? I work for CNBC, so therefore I am snooty. Hopefully you'll work for CNBC in the next year or two, my friend. So enjoy it while it lasts. Had some haters no longer work in the business anymore due to the changes that are going on in the country as far as an AI and et cetera, et cetera. So maybe you can work for us if I would allow that. On venue challenges and marketing strategy, while celebrating television success, Cardinale acknowledged ongoing struggles with live attendance and venue selection that impact the fan experience. He said, quote, this was the second biggest quote of this whole thing. He said, the live event, we're still figuring out the venues. So the live event is still challenged, and we really need to play in if the paradigm is to take a national quality product and put it into these local markets to compete against what else is available in those markets, like an MLS. He likes to go back, talk about MLS. Then we've got to get the venues right. And we haven't been able to get the venues right yet. Now, this is the thing. He's talking about venues. We're just talking about venues. He's talking about cities. Let's be honest. Because, and I put this in the article, so you're telling me, so we've got Memphis, Birmingham, and Houston who are underperforming venues. San Antonio could do better, but you know what I mean? Michigan is starting to come correct. Brilliant move to do the Jake Bates bobblehead. Smart. These other teams can do it too. DC Defenders had their college hats, which people were wearing. We bought a bunch at the end of the game this past year. So Memphis, Birmingham, and Houston are underperforming venues. I assume he used the term venue rather than city when explaining the situation. Otherwise, fans would freak out. Putting any team, like this is my thing, putting a team in a $1 billion stadium in Memphis, do you think that's going to get Showboat fans to come out? No. Even if it was an exclusive $1 billion venue for the Memphis Showboats only, people wouldn't come out. Maybe they would come out a little bit. All right, fine. They'll double their audience. They'll double their attendance to 8,000. That's about it. Birmingham with a retractable dome stadium, I think the same thing. Houston, I mean, they were good. I mean, they could switch a head coach or something like that and maybe be a little bit more exciting. But those are all the three. They're not venues. They could play in the, Houston Texans play. And they're not going to sell more tickets. So I don't think it was just interesting that he used the word venues, but he certainly put it out there. There was something that, he could have just been like, no, we're really happy with whatever is going on. It's a good, interesting interview to hear from him. Like I said, he's the guy that you want to hear from. So he's in, he seems pretty good. I'm glad that the guy at least asked him about the UFL. There was a lot of other stuff he was asking about, which was fine, but he was just being a little snooty, pal. Alex, don't be so snooty when it comes to talking to Jerry and talking about the UFL. You ever need some advice, you talk to me and I'll help you out. So, but if you definitely want to go ahead and listen to the full interview, because it was pretty interesting conversation. All right, if you're living under a rock or something like that, the UFL Championship Game Conference. Okay, so this is the schedule in case you're wondering. We've got the Michigan Panthers versus Birmingham Stallions at Protective Stadium, June 8th, Birmingham, Alabama. That is 3 p.m. on ABC. Then you have the XFL Conference Championship against your team, America's team, the DC Defenders, against the St. Louis Battlehawks at the Dome at America's Center. That is also on Sunday, June 8th, 6 p.m. on Fox. There's your game. And then the championship game, the winners will advance for the UFL Championship game on June 14th, which will be held at the Dome at 8 p.m. on ABC. I will not be there. But again, what's best for business is the Battlehawks winning, but I think the DC Defenders can handle their business against the St. Louis Battlehawks. The Battlehawks defense is good. I'm not, feeling Max Duggan. I would like for him to do well, but he just doesn't. I mean, if it was Manny Wilkins, I'd be worried. Michigan Panthers I think they're going to roll in Birmingham Stallions, and hopefully we get a Panthers. Panthers, Battlehawks, DC. It would be an interesting story with the Stallions too. We're just going to have to tune in and find out. Let us know who you think is going to win these games in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Welcome to Pulse AI Solutions, where we empower small to medium-sized businesses with cutting-edge AI technology. At Pulse AI Solutions, we specialize in AI consulting, providing expert advice to help you integrate AI into your business operations effectively. Our custom AI solutions are tailored to meet your unique needs, ensuring you get the most out of AI technology. We offer comprehensive digital management packages, including website management, hosting, video editing, digital marketing, advertising, content creation, and search engine optimization. Our tech innovation services keep your business ahead of the curve with the latest advancements in AI and technology. From AI product management to enhancing your digital presence, we provide end-to-end support for all your AI needs. Join the revolution with Pulse AI Solutions and transform your business operations today. Visit us at pulseaisolutions.com to learn more about our services and how we can help your business thrive. Contact us today for a free business assessment.
All right, we are back, and make sure you sign up for our pool. So it's $25 a square. Remember, and you don't have to watch to win, but of course you're going to watch. So prizes, $250 for the first halftime and third quarter. Final score gets you $750. Total prizes, $1,500, and that's on for the UFL Championship game, June 14th. You just participate, podcast at UFLnewshub.com, and this is for benefit our family friend Nancy, who is an ovarian cancer survivor. Proceeds will benefit the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition. You have that. So just email me, podcast at UFLnewshub.com, and we'll get you signed up for that. We either take Venmo or PayPal, you send the money over, and then we send you your location, and then you're off to the races. And for the game you win, then we send you the money. It's that simple. All right. Also up next, we have the UFL Watch Party and live podcast at JoJo's Restaurant Sunday, June 8th. Here's the breakdown for what we got going on. So 2 p.m., UFL Week In Review will be live from JoJo's. 3 p.m., you've got the Stallions versus Panthers game, Battlehawks versus Defenders. That's at 6. We're going to hop on at halftime of the St. Louis Battlehawks DC Defenders game. We're giving prizes away. You've got the championship pool, big screens, great food and drinks, friends there. Free entry. It's not going to cost you anything. Presented by UFL News Hub. Yeah, so your friends will be there. So you want to come. If you're in the area or anywhere in the area, you want to hang out with us. It will be a lot of fun. And we will be live on the YouTubes and Facebooks on that date. It's going to be a long day. We're going to have a whole behind-the-scenes thing, giving away prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hang out with us then. UFL announces the player of the week for Week 10. Of course, Luis Perez, your quarterback. He gets the Pizza Hut offensive player. So I guess, are they going to send it to him now that the season's over? Birmingham Stallions, Tay Crowder is your linebacker ortho defensive player of the week. Special teams player of the week, Xavier Malone, wide receiver of Michigan Panthers. Congratulations to them. The UFL league announced Sportsman of the Year nominees. So they will be awarded. So this prestigious honor recognizes the UFL player who best exemplifies the league's core values by demonstrating excellence on the field and a deep commitment to community. There's a lot of good guys that do this kind of stuff. The award celebrates individuals who lead by example, demonstrating a passion for the game of football on the field and a passion to serve and make a difference within their communities. Candidates were nominated by coaches, players, leagues, and team executives. So here you go. Your nominees are Sportsman of the Year, Seth Green of the Arlington Renegades, Barry Wesley, Birmingham Stallions, Chris Rowland, your part of America's team, your DC Defenders, Leon O'Neal Jr., the Houston Roughnecks, Jalen Allen, Memphis Showboats. Hopefully Jalen Allen wins. Can we give it up for Jalen Allen, because he will be the only Memphis Showboats to win any offseason award whatsoever. So I'm rooting for Jalen Allen just to deal with Memphis Showboats. You should deserve this award. Ryan Nelson, Michigan Panthers, Steven Stylianos of the San Antonio Brahmas, and Travis Feeney, great player, good guy for the Battlehawks. So congratulations to all those again. Let's go, Jalen Allen. He's our guy. We want to win this thing. Black Moods will perform at the 2025 UFL Championship game presented by Underdog. Cool. Never heard of you guys, but the fact that they have a halftime show, fantastic. Good job getting these guys. I kind of briefly listened to their music. So will perform the U.S. national anthem and will be the halftime entertainment for the 2025 UFL Championship game, presented by Underdog, taking place at the Dome at America Center in St. Louis. Hey, the CFL got Snoop Dogg for the BC Lions home game. I mean, I'm just saying, Snoop Dogg probably costs more than the Black Moods, but hey, this is a great thing for the league because there seems like they're trying to do more around this championship game. Throw out their Midwest raw, amplified, fresh, fiery update on rock and roll. We like rock and roll. Sunshine reaching number 16 during the Black Moods' career. They have released 4 studio albums. The Black Moods in 2012, Medicine in 2016, Sunshine in 2020, and Into the Night in 2022. They, being a Missouri boy and having the opportunity to play at the Dome in America Center in St. Louis is something I never could have imagined. That was Kennedy, native of Wheaton, Missouri. So they're going to have go to the games there. So that is cool. Super excited about that, and we'll see how they do. Battlehawks announced Let's Hustle for St. Louis. So the St. Louis Battlehawks announced a series of activations in their Community Hustle initiative to support the immediate and long-term recovery efforts of St. Louis from the recent tornado damage. Working in conjunction with their premier community partner, United Way of Greater St. Louis, the Battlehawks are providing 5 ways to provide assistance for those in need. So first, June 8th, 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time, join the pre-game relief effort. So the United Way of Greater St. Louis nonprofit partner, St. Louis Food Bank, will be on site at the official St. Louis Battlehawks tailgate in Bayer Plaza this Sunday with their truck to collect items for those impacted by the tornadoes. Fans are encouraged to bring items such as canned goods, cereal, granola bars, storage containers, toothbrush, toothpaste, body soap, shampoo, diapers. I could make a comment about some of the St. Louis Battlehawks fans. Maybe they needed a little diaper for what's going to happen to them when the DC Defenders destroy you in this game. America's team. Can openers, cleaning products to clean up that said diaper situation. Cleaning products and supplies. That's a very cool thing. Buy a June 8th ticket to give $10 towards the tornado fund. Visit the Battlehawks Tornado Relief to purchase tickets to watch the Battlehawks in the conference championship game, and $10 of every ticket sold will be donated to the United Way of Greater St. Louis Severe Storm and Tornado Relief Fund. That's really cool. Also, round up the measure at the register. Buy new Battlehawks apparel and official merchandise at the UFL shop outside of Section 153 and round up at the register. This includes prices from the Lou collection, the new limited edition Battlehawks and Nelly collaboration available only at UFL shop on game day. I didn't know about that. I want to see that. Portion of the Battlehawks 50-50 raffle on June 8th will benefit the United Way of Greater St. Louis Severe Storm Tornado Relief Fund. That's pretty cool. St. Louis Battlehawks box. Lee's famous recipe has not only extended their St. Louis Battlehawks box promotion through the end of the postseason, they are graciously donating $1 from every box sold to benefit the Battlehawks Disaster Relief and United Way. Visit the area 15 locations to enjoy 4 of their famous hand-breaded. Well, of course, it's breaded. I can't eat that. That's got gluten on it. Order up potato wedges and 2 dipping sauces. So maybe that's not as well. St. Louis Battlehawks also joined with the St. Louis Cardinals, Blues, City SC, and Anheuser-Busch to provide a unique experience to be auctioned during a special broadcast of the Cardinals game on Friday, June 6th on FanDuel Sports and KMOV and Matrix Midwest. So very cool that they're doing that kind of community stuff, and they will get a lot of people. This should be a good game, and I'm just joking, St. Louis Battlehawks fans. I hung out with you in D.C. We had a good time. Just that one jabroni that needs to be banned. And other than that, we're good. But I think it's going to be a great game. And I've said, too, I mean, for the league, they could really use those big numbers for the championship game. It had to be St. Louis. But sorry. That would be my second. If D.C. doesn't win, I want St. Louis to win. So there you go. United Football League to host a Houston Roughnecks youth football camp on Wednesday, June 25th at TD ECU Stadium. We have all details there. There's basically youth football camp after the season in a bunch of different locations. You can go to UFL.com theufl.com for more information. But yeah, there's youth football camps all throughout at the end of the season by each of the UFL teams. Very cool thing. But here's, Houston Roughnecks are having theirs as well. That's it for the news. All right, we've got our picks for this week. With limited guys playing, I'm going to go with Perkins. Got to go with Jacob Sailors. Got to go Chris Rowland. Let's see. Let's go to the defense. I'm going with the Panthers defense. All right, I've got $6,000 to spend. I'm going to go with, I'm doing Nakua, man. Where's my guy, Nakua? Oh, he's out. Toa is out. Oh. Let's see here. We'll go with Davis. Let's go with CJ Maribel. And then we've got 5,900. The Larry Roundtree do good? 11 attempts last game, but that's just because how did Nakua do? Oh, only one target. Do Sternberg as well, and that will be your bet there for your DFS fantasy stuff. It's just hard. It's just hard. Oh, I only have $3 in there. Never mind. And then for the betting for this stuff, you can see my balance is like big old $3. I'm picking the money line. I think the Michigan Panthers and DC Defenders. Put $1 on each. That will give you a parlay. We'll do that one. I think the Defenders will hit the I don't know. That's a high scoring game, but I mean that's like 23 to 20 something. I'm going to go with the under on the DC Defenders game and the over on the Panthers game. That will be another $1 bet there. And then I don't like doing the spread, but we got to do a fin parlay. We'll take the Panthers. I think they won't have a problem. And then we'll go with the under of the St. Louis Battlehawks game. And then I got to go with the Michigan Panthers on the money line as well. And there is your pick there for this week. Now, how about let's get into your phone calls.
Hi, this is Bobby from Phoenix. I'm a longtime XFL fan, original season ticket holder for the Orlando Rage going all the way back to 2001. I've followed the league since I've moved across the country, St. Louis, Arlington, Las Vegas, and now I live in Phoenix. The number one aspect that this league is missing is name recognition. And that's why a lot of people don't follow this league. The league tried to go after big name coaches, Wade Phillips, Bob Stoops, people that most ordinarily football fans had heard of, but I really feel like the number one component that spring football is missing compared to previous leagues, particularly the old school USFL of the 1980s, is people just don't know who any of these players are. And there needs to be done a lot more marketing of the individual players and promoting them and getting their name out, because I feel like it just comes across as minor league. It's never going to be taken seriously as long as you don't have top tier people, just the same way as AAA baseball or G League basketball. It's going to be in the background. It's going to be in the shadows. Spring football can work, but you got to have name recognition, and you got to have people that fans can get behind and support. And I really feel like this is the number one aspect of the UFL that is missing in today's game. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. I appreciate the phone call. As far, the Orlando Rage, dang, bro. He has been all in. Now, as far as the name recognition goes, I hear what you're saying, but, Vaughn Hutchins of the DC Defenders general manager was recently on a podcast, and we covered it on the league. And they were basically like wanting to make sure that they kind of they want to keep the door open for guys and mostly have guys in that 26, 27, 28 range. and not really kind of, I mean, there are some older vets, and I think they should have some older vets in the league as well. Quarterbacks is a different story. I mean, P.J. Walker didn't come back. He went to play in the Canadian Football League. Part of me wonders if they told him that, you're just too older. So, because that's spots for the younger guys, and that's kind of their selling point. So the problem is that you have, like a Jake Bates that you could have, built around, but then they go to the NFL. So you can't really bank on the players per se, unless they're quarterbacks, Luis Perez, Jordan Ta'amu, if Bryce Perkins sticks around. I mean, you can do that. Chris Rowland, you could do that if they stay around. But again, like, even if they're good players, like, they're not going to play into their 30s of teams. You have to do it more, I think, like the college sports, because there's just going to be a lot of turnaround. There was guys that were like my favorite players last year on the DC Defenders defense that are no longer with the league, and I think they might have aged them out. I don't really know what happened to them. So I get what you're saying, but you can't really do it that way, because this league is not like the NFL where you're going to have a Patrick Mahomes on your team for 6 or 7 years. You have to kind of just market it as like your hometown team, like the Battlehawks, or the Battlehawks, whether they had A.J. McCarron, it didn't matter, whether they had Manny Wilkins. I mean, they've got their guys in there. Hakeem Butler has kind of been there for a while. He's kind of been like a guy there, but you wonder like how much time they're, where they want to give a younger guy some reps in there too. He's been kind of injured this year, but also their offenses have been that great. Jacob Saylor's so I don't know if you can build the league around players at this point, but I think you have to focus more on just like the team and being a fan of the team, just because the player turnover could be high. All right, on to another. This is an email translated with AI.
Hi, Mark. During the Panthers game this past weekend, the announcers were terrific, and their interaction with VP of Officiating Mike Pereira in the last 90 seconds of the first half were so hilarious that I am using that segment to show friends why they should watch the UFL. I hope you saw that game, but if not, watch the last 2 minutes of the first half where both teams challenged some calls. I hope you record the games. After my years of anger and frustration with the NFL's complex rules and inept if not corrupt officiating, I love the UFL so much because Mike Pereira watches every game and talks with the announcers to explain every penalty and challenge as needed. The humor in this 90 seconds, which I won't spoil for you here, was split equally among the three guys. What a refreshing difference from the stodgy and corporatized NFL. I hope the Panthers tighten up for the divisional game next weekend. I'm going to try to get some friends to watch that with me to introduce them to the UFL. Best wishes to your Defenders in their playoff game. Take care, Tim.
Thank you, Tim, for checking in. That's been one of the things that people like, is just the transparency with the rules. I didn't see that part. I was in and out all this past weekend, but fans definitely, that's something that the league likes. That fans like about the league is definitely the rules and that interaction between those guys. That really works. I mean, if there's one thing about the television aspect of it, it is that, because before the TV people were like, oh, we have drones and we're gonna have so many cameras and blah 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 blah. It's like, bro, no one cares. But because it solves a problem that is a frustration thing for the fans. So the UFL should look at these things and say, all right, what can we do that solves the frustration of fans and having behind the scenes? I don't really care about talking them in the sidelines. I think that's more good for the players because they can get some FaceTime in there. You know what I mean? Like, is that going to make me watch the games? Yes or no? But I think fans of the NFL appreciate the rule aspect of it. I agree with you there. So thanks for checking in, Tim. And remember, if you want to be part of the show, email me, podcast@uflnewshub.com or 888-430-7692, extension 3, for all that fun stuff. Remember, we will be live for the UFL Playoff Watch Party this Sunday, 8 p.m. Show starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you can join us on there. If you're anywhere traveling or whatever, we'll get a full breakdown. Oh, guess who is my guest on the show? I was like, I'm forgetting something. The one, the only, the GOAT, Mike Mitchell, will be on the program talking UFL stuff. He will have to ask me how about my little, Tom Brady thing, and all that good stuff. So we'll chat up with Mike Mitchell. We'll do that. We're gonna record that, and then but I'll be live on there. We'll play that, and I'll answer your questions and all that stuff. So we'll have a good old time. It should be a lot of fun. All right, my friends. Sunday's going to be a long day. My wife keeps saying Sunday's going to be a long day. And I was like, yep. Because I'm helping out at church in the morning, helping mixing, then headed straight to JoJo's to do the show, followed by, the last time I did a podcast was the first XFL game at Walters in 2020. So this is the first time bringing it back. So we'll see how it works out. I'm not too worried about it. I'm there to just hang out with friends and watch the games. But I definitely wanted to do a podcast, and I wanted to make it fun for people. So I just kind of, killed two birds with one stone. I'll figure all that stuff out. Actually, I'm running out of time. I got to figure out how I'm going to do all this stuff. But I will, because I'm good like that. All right, my friends, that's it from me. As always, God bless. We will see you all on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Later.